South African President Jacob Zuma says that former South African President Nelson Mandela's condition remains critical but stable and that the government hopes the 94-year-old will be out of hospital soon. Meanwhile, Reuters reports that President Obama and his wife Michelle Obama met with family members of the ailing South African leader. US President Barack Obama, who is travelling with his family, arrived in South Africa last evening. The White House said in a statement the Obamas would meet privately with members of the Mandela family to offer their thoughts and prayers at this difficult time. Obama is in South Africa on the second stop of a three-nation Africa tour. His visit had triggered intense speculation that the United States' first African-American president might visit 94-year-old Mandela in the Pretoria hospital, where he has spent 3 weeks being treated for a lung infection. Meanwhile, speaking in the capital Pretoria after talks with President Jacob Zuma, Obama praised Nelson Mandela as an inspiration to the world.
Our thoughts and those of Americans and people all around the world are with Nelson Mandela and his family and all of South Africa. The struggle here against apartheid, for freedom, Madiba's moral courage, this country's historic transition to a free and democratic nation has been a personal inspiration to me. It has been an inspiration to the world, and it continues to be in so many regions that are divided by conflict, sectarian disputes, religious or ethnic wars. To see what happened in South Africa, the power of principle and people standing up for what's right, I think continues to shine as a beacon.
In more local news, the lives of 8 persons were lost in accidents that occurred at unguarded level crossings during the last week alone. The final rites of 5 of the victims were held today.
The final rites of the 5 women who were killed in the accidents involving a train and a van at an unguarded level crossing close to the Alutgama railway station on the 25th were held today. The funerals took place at the Dodamgoda Ambagahakumbura burial grounds. 11 persons, including children, were travelling in the van at the time of the accident last Tuesday night, as the dead were women aged 39, 52, 23, 22, 20 and 14 years. Unguarded level crossing not only claims lives of persons but also put the families of the victims in helpless situations. One may argue that authorities not taking steps to erect gates at level crossings is pushing the lives of persons into the brink of danger. No matter who is held accountable, is this not the message depicted by these victims? There are no gates at over 800 railway crossings across the island. Railways General Manager. Gates will be erected at 45 railway crossings this year. Railways General Manager. 3 accidents at railway crossings claimed the lives of 10 people this month alone. On the 25th, an accident at an unguarded level crossing in Alutgama claims the lives of 6 people. Less than 72 hours after the incident, a signal system is erected at the railway crossing. If a signal system was erected at Alutgama less than 72 hours after the accident, what is holding back the department from erecting signal systems at all other unguarded level crossings?
Tonight on Words of Wisdom, we bring you words of Spanish novelist and poet Miguel de Cervantes.
To attain the impossible, one must attempt the absurd. Miguel de Cervantes, 1547 to 1616.
A 14-year-old girl in the Pathani area in Kottagala had died when a rope of a swing had twisted around her neck this morning. Now, according to the coroner, the death is suspicious. However, the body was directed to the judicial medical officer for further investigation.
The victim has been identified as 14-year-old Dilani Priyadarshani, a resident of the Jayasuri village in Pathana, Hatton. The girl has met with this tragedy when she was playing with her pet while sitting on the swing hung near the main entrance to her house. At the time of the incident, her father and twin brother were participating in a Shramadana campaign at her school. The Pathana Sinhala Vidyalaya and only her mother was present at home.
While we were at
the Shramadana, I asked my wife to send some tea. Then she said our daughter is not to be seen. I told her to take a look around. Then she was found tangled in the rope. Then only we took her to hospital. She plays on it every day with her pet. According to our correspondent, the Pathana Sinhala Vidyalaya, where the Shramadana campaign was being held, was situated close to the victim's house. When we were working at the Shramadana, we heard my mother shouting. When we came to look, they said my sister had fallen while playing with the dog. She is very good in her studies. She is always first in class. The girl was rushed to the Kotagala district hospital for treatment. Coroner of the Madapane Korale in Kotmale, MT Sumanasiri, conducted an inquest on the death. We cannot say anything until the post-mortem is carried out. We see something suspicious. The rope was attached like a clothesline. The child had been playing with a dog while hanging on the rope, and that is when her throat was entangled in the rope. The rope had entangled only from one side. There is no knot. It is very clear. When she was falling, the rope had not touched her body. That is the main suspicion. The mother says when she saw it was too late. Therefore, there is contradictory statements.
You're watching News First, and up next is a look at Action TV.
In September 2011, the Union of Officers Covering Principals' Duties staged a demonstration opposite the Ministry of Education, demanding that over 4,000 of its members be absorbed into the Principal Service of Sri Lanka. At that time, the request made by the Ministry of Education to absorb 2,118 persons covering the Principal's duties to the Principal Service on two separate occasions were rejected by the Public Services Commission, citing that it was in violation of the Sri Lanka Principal Service minutes. A cabinet subcommittee was appointed to look into the absorbing of the 2,118 persons who covered the duties of principals to the Principal Service with not less than 3 years of service as of the 31st of December 2010. However, Action TV revealed that the report of the Cabinet Subcommittee only comprised of facts of sympathy. Based on those facts, the Public Services Commission was forced to include the 2,118 persons to the Sri Lanka Principal Service on the supernumerary basis, as the task was handled by the Cabinet itself. The definition of supernumerary is that they cannot hold any sort of position. It is another matter to be discussed as those who have been given appointments continue to hold positions. The 2,118 persons who covered the duties of principals were included into the Sri Lanka Principal Service in accordance to the 12/1101/520/035 Cabinet Memorandum. This is an appointment letter made to include the individuals who had covered the duties of principals with not less than 3 years of service as of the 31st of December 2010 to the Principal Service based on the Cabinet Memorandum. However, when looking closer at another appointment letter that had been issued, it is clearly evident that the Ministry of Education had issued such appointment letters in a fraudulent manner. This letter has been issued on behalf of an individual covering the duties of a principal at a national school in Venapur. The Secretary to the Cabinet confirms that the individual was appointed to cover the duties of a principal on the 8th of April 2010. However, this individual, who was granted the appointment, had not completed the service period of not less than 3 years as of the 31st of December 2010. Thereby, doesn't this letter help in inquiring into the misuse committed by the Ministry of Education using the Cabinet Memorandum 12/1101/520/035 and the Cabinet decision made on the 8th of August 2012? Cabinet Secretary, this is over to you.